Imagine waking up one day to find out that the country you've called home for years is now telling you it's time to leave. In 2025, immigration policies are tightening worldwide, and millions of people are facing deportation. But why is this happening now? Is it about jobs, security, politics, or something even bigger? From the US deploying troops to the border to Italy outsourcing asylum processing, the world is reshaping immigration laws in ways we've never seen before. Stick around as we break down 8 countries that are kicking out immigrants in 2025, and trust me, some of these reasons will shock you. 1. United States. The return of strict border policies. The US has always been a hotbed for immigration debates, but 2025 is shaping up to be one of the most aggressive years for deportations in recent history. With a new administration in power, the focus is on tightening border security and reducing illegal immigration. The government has deployed 15,000 troops to the US-Mexico border, the largest military presence in border history. Drone surveillance has also increased by 50%, making it nearly impossible to cross undetected. The goal? To deport 500,000 undocumented immigrants by the end of 2025. But here's the twist. The US economy heavily relies on immigrant labor, especially in agriculture, construction, and hospitality. If these deportations continue, industries could face severe labor shortages, potentially leading to higher costs for consumers. 2. United Kingdom. Zero tolerance for overstayers. Post-Brexit Britain is taking a hardline approach to immigration. In 2025, the UK government has introduced a zero-tolerance policy for undocumented immigrants, aiming to deport 200,000 people by the end of the year. The driving force behind this crackdown? A severe housing crisis. Rent prices in cities like London and Manchester have skyrocketed by 15%, and many Brits believe immigration is exacerbating the problem. Additionally, with unemployment rising to 6%, the government is under pressure to prioritize jobs for UK-born citizens. But the policy isn't without controversy. Even long-term residents who lack proper paperwork are at risk. Recently, a 90-year-old grandmother who had lived in the UK for over 30 years was nearly deported, sparking public outrage. 3. France. Security concerns drive deportations. France, known for its rich culture and history, is now making headlines for its strict immigration policies. In 2025, the French government plans to deport 180,000 undocumented immigrants, a 30% increase from the previous year. The primary reason? Security. After several high-profile terror attacks, the government is under pressure to tighten its borders. France has also seen a surge in asylum applications, with over 15,000 in 2024 alone, many from conflict zones like Syria and Afghanistan. Public opinion has shifted dramatically, with 70% of French citizens supporting stricter immigration laws. However, critics argue that these policies could harm vulnerable refugees and strain diplomatic relations with North African countries like Algeria and Morocco. 4. Italy. Outsourcing asylum processing. Italy, a major entry point for migrants crossing the Mediterranean, is taking a radical approach to immigration in 2025. Instead of processing asylum seekers on Italian soil, the government is sending them to Albania for processing. This controversial agreement aims to reduce Italy's migrant burden. In 2024, over 200,000 migrants arrived on Italy's shores, a 40% increase from the previous year. By outsourcing the process, Italy hopes to cut costs and ease public frustration. However, human rights organizations have slammed the policy, calling it inhumane. Critics argue that Albania's refugee facilities may not meet international standards, putting vulnerable migrants at risk. 5. Saudi Arabia. Vision 2030 and labor reforms. Saudi Arabia is known for its strict immigration policies, but in 2025, the kingdom is taking things to a new level. The government plans to deport 1.5 million undocumented workers as part of its Vision 2030 economic reform plan. The goal is to reduce the country's reliance on foreign labor and create more jobs for Saudi nationals. With youth unemployment at 12%, the government is cracking down on businesses that employ illegal workers, imposing fines of up to $26,000 per violation. But the impact extends beyond Saudi Arabia. Many families in countries like Pakistan, India, and Bangladesh rely on remittances from workers in Saudi Arabia. This deportation drive could lead to economic instability in these nations. 6. Germany. A shift from open-door policies. Germany, once a champion of refugee rights, is tightening its immigration policies in 2025. The government plans to increase deportations by 40%, targeting rejected asylum seekers and those with expired visas. The shift comes amid growing public frustration over housing shortages and economic pressures. Germany spends over $20 billion annually on refugee support programs, and with inflation rising, many citizens believe resources should be prioritized for locals. However, critics argue that these policies could harm vulnerable refugees, particularly those fleeing war-torn regions like Syria and Afghanistan. 7. Australia. Offshore detention expands. Australia has long been known for its strict immigration policies, and in 2025, things are getting even tougher. The government is expanding its offshore detention centers, aiming to reduce unauthorized arrivals by 50%. Migrants who arrive illegally by boat are sent to facilities in Nauru and Papua New Guinea, where their asylum applications are processed. Critics argue that these centers have poor living conditions, but the government insists they are necessary to deter human smuggling. With unemployment rising to 5.5%, Australia is also prioritizing skilled migrants who can contribute to the economy. However, the crackdown on undocumented workers has sparked heated debates about humanitarian responsibilities. 8. Turkey. Economic pressures force deportations. Turkey, home to over 4 million refugees, is shifting its immigration policies in 2025. Facing economic challenges, the government plans to deport 600,000 undocumented migrants this year. Inflation in Turkey has soared to 45%, and many citizens believe refugees are competing for jobs and driving up living costs. The government has introduced stricter work permit laws and is conducting random ID checks in major cities like Istanbul and Ankara. While many Turks support the move, human rights organizations warn that the sudden removal of refugees could create a humanitarian crisis in Syria and other conflict zones. The world is changing, and so are immigration policies. While some argue that these crackdowns are necessary for national security and economic stability, others believe they come at the cost of human rights and compassion. What do you think? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Travel for Seniors for more insights into global trends and travel tips. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.